Hello everyone, it's Victorious EO3 or Cody Wilson, and welcome to episode 10 on this YouTube channel. Today is Saturday, so that means we are going to be doing a Smackdown recap. So without further ado, let's get straight into the recap. So our first recap story, we have Randy Orton arrives on Smackdown, but he is interrupted by Trick Williams. Now I personally like this segment. I like, how they're pushing Trick. I think he's a phenomenal dude. He's going to be a top guy in the company later on in the future. But right now, I hope he doesn't get lost in the shuffle with all of the other characters they have on SmackDown, even though it's 3 hours, and yet they somehow still manage to not push many more superstars than just, the regulars like Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, Miz, so many more that are getting pushed that are already over people that need to get over. And then, as we all know, Trick Williams had his first match on SmackDown against Rey Fenix, beating Rey Fenix in the match. For me personally, I wouldn't have picked Rey Fenix, but there's also no other person to really take a loss that I know of that's on SmackDown. I guess they could have put the Miz in there, but that would have just been stupid. So I guess Rey Fenix, it was the best choice. But it's just I had high hopes for Rey Fenix, especially with his brother Penta, in AEW. It's just the way they're pushing Rey Fenix right now. It's different than from Penta, which I hate because they were such a good tag team. It's just I hate to see it. It's just I don't like it, but that's just my opinion. Now the next match that followed that was Alexa Bliss versus Julia for the United States Women's Championship. Now, as if you guys don't know about this, but I hate how they're doing the United States Championship right now. It's really for both United States Championships because both the men's, Carmelo Hayes, he's the champion, which I like. He's good. And then they have Julia, which, she's great. It's just having her win twice and then having Chelsea win twice was just kind of stupid, especially with a short title reign. It was 19 days, I think, or maybe longer than that. I'm not sure. But that's just my opinion. And then, of course, Alexa lost for interference with Lash Legend and Nia Jax, which, I was expecting that kind of, but I also had hopes Alexa would win. But at the same time, who am I? Because I'm probably just dumb for thinking that because I knew, they're not going to have Julia lose it after a week, even though they kind of did that to Chelsea. It's just, I don't like the way they're handling both United States Championships. I think Carmelo Hayes, he's really good. I think he'll actually do great for the championship like Ilya Dragunov did. But for the Women's Championship, it's just Chelsea Green, Julia, and then Julia again, and then Chelsea Green. It's just a complete mess, and I just don't like it. Following that, we had the MFTs against the Wyatt Six. Now, this match was shorter than I thought it would be, and we saw the MFTs defeat the Wyatt Six, and then we also saw Solo Sikoa take the Bray Wyatt's lantern. And he still has it with him. I saw on a house show clip they put on their website. He still has it. He was walking around with it. That's great. I like Solo Sikoa. He's super cool. I think for me, it's I like the MFTs and I like the Wyatt Six. Just right now, the Wyatt Six, they shouldn't be losing. As much as I hate to say, it's just I think they should have won last night because they built them up as a big and great tag team or whatever team, and yet they're making them lose. Yes, they have the WWE Championship, Tag Team Championship, but how good have Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis been with those championships? I'm not saying their run's been bad. It's just, I haven't seen many title defenses since I've watched. And it's just I think put the tag team titles on the MFTs, or I would have liked to see Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa WWE Tag Team Champions again. But, as we all know, Ciampa's leaving, sadly. So, thank you, Ciampa, for everything you've done. But it's just, in my opinion, the Wyatt Six should not be losing as much as they have right now. But that could also just be me. Again, it's just my opinion. It's just, I did like, MFT's winning because, I like them. It's just, beating the Wyatt Six was a little bit controversial for me. Coming up after that match, we had Jordynne Grace on her SmackDown debut against Alba Fire. Now, we all knew that she would easily defeat Alba Fire. There was no chance that she was going to lose to Alba Fire. If anything, she would have lost to interference by Chelsea Green, but we all knew that wouldn't happen because they're trying to push Jordynne. I believe they're going to try to put Jordynne for WrestleMania, against Jade. I think that'd be perfect because we did see after Jordan's match, Jade come out with her music by telling her, you know, she's all that. She's not the only one that's bad. You know, she's the one that runs the WWE Women's Champion division. Sorry, I couldn't think of it for a second. So I personally think, you know, that'd be a good WrestleMania match. I don't personally like Jade as WWE Champion. You know, I'm more of like a put Nia Jax or even Lash Legend. I believe they're also going for the Women's Tag Team Championship, so you know that might be just stupid on my part. It's just Jade as a champion. She's great, but she was only in the company for like a year. Same thing with Tiffany. You know, she was on the main roster for like almost not even a year, and then she won the Women's Championship, and then she had one of the longest reigning championship runs. You know, I think it was like top third, so it wasn't as bad. It was just she was on Smackdown for like a few months, won the championship, and then had one of the longest reigns. In my opinion, it just didn't make sense, but, you know. I like Tiffany, it's just I didn't think she needed to win right away, but then again, she was also over at the time, so maybe I'm just being wrong. Next up, we had the Open Challenge for the United States Championship. Yet again, we had Carmelo Hayes defeating Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, I personally love Shinsuke Nakamura. You know, his music is just... It gets you going. That's in my gym playlist. It's just, you know, I hate seeing him lose, and I hope he doesn't, but I know he'll probably leave WWE for like New Japan, maybe AEW, TNA, any of those promotions. Like they'd be happy to have him. It's just right now WWE making him lose, you know, and he's not even appearing much on TV anymore. It's just, if it was me in charge, I'd push Shinsuke Nakamura because I know like he was super popular back then, but now he's like, I feel like for me, I'd make him more popular again because I see that potential in him. It's just the way they're putting him right now. I think like he could do better in another company, unfortunately. But who knows? Maybe he'll end his career in WWE like Chris Jericho. You know, I personally believe he'll be at the Rumble, Chris Jericho. But if he's not, then he's in AEW. There's nothing else to say. Like if he's not at the Rumble this year, he's staying in AEW, and they're just all like messing with us. But it's just, you know, Shinsuke Nakamura, I love you. It's just the way you're getting portrayed on TV right now, I feel like you deserve better. And last but not least, we had the main event, the 3 stages of hell match, the standard, the false count anywhere, and the steel cage, with Drew McIntyre winning and becoming the new WWE Undisputed Championship. Now, for me, this was a bit of a shock. I thought Cody would retain, you know. I didn't think personally they'd change the WWE Championship this close to Mania, but then again, you know, there's always surprises in WWE. Anything can happen, like they always say. And I guess also it's kind of Jacob's fault for costing Cody Rhodes the championship. It's just, I really thought Cody would win. I thought, you know, people would cry because Drew lost. Drew would probably either get mad, leave the company, or just, you know, do something in that storyline a little bit, or like never challenge for the championship again because, you know, he just lost like a 4th time, I think. I don't know. And this feud with Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre has been going on for so long. People hated it. How long it went on, because it was at, I think it was at WrestlePalooza, and then like after that, so all the way up to January 2026 is just crazy. But again, congratulations to Drew McIntyre for winning the WWE Undisputed Champion. I think he deserves it. I think he really does. As much as I love Cody, you know, people are hating him right now. Like, I have a feeling there's a heel turn in the future. I don't know when. Rumble, maybe. If not later than that, probably at WrestleMania, if he sells his soul to The Rock in that storyline. But for now, I think Cody's going to stay a babyface and get upset about Jacob costing him the title, have a feud with Jacob, probably do that at Rumble or Saturday Night's Main Event, either one of those two. And then they have the number 1 contender matches, which is like the Miz against Randy Orton, Damian Priest against, I think, Ilya Dragunov, and then Matt Cardona against Trick Williams, and then Ilya Dragunov again. I have no idea about the matches. I remember the names. I just don't remember like who's against who. And the winners of those are face off in a Fatal 4-Way match next week's main event, or at Saturday Night's Main Event. I think, I'm not sure. I think for me, you know, I'd like to see Matt Cardona, but we all know that's probably not going to happen. I think the best runner-up would probably be Randy Orton or You know, if they're gonna do a long shot Trick Williams. I know if Trick Williams goes, he's not gonna win the title, obviously, because I mean, unless they do, that'd be a major surprise if they do that at the Rumble. I have a high thought that they're not gonna do that, because it'd just be too soon to have two people become new WWE Undisputed Champions before Mania. Having like Drew McIntyre and then have to say Trick Williams or Randy Orton become the new champion before WrestleMania. That just it doesn't work out for me. But maybe that's their plan, and they're just like leading us on to believe that he's not gonna like lose before Mania, but then he does, and then someone else takes his place in WrestleMania. But that has been our SmackDown recap. I don't think I have anything else for you guys today. No new news. You know, I'm still sick, but I'm feeling much better than yesterday. Yesterday was just, it was not good. I realized later on in the day, I was like, why can't I do this anymore? It was right after work. I kind of like sat up from my bed. I was like, yeah, there's no way. So I apologize for not having a video yesterday. But I'm working on it. You know, I'm human. I'm not a robot. I can't like make miracles happen. I can't, stop the cold, even though I want to, because this cold is killing me. But it is winter season. You know, everyone's getting the flu or cold, whatever. It's better than having like a COVID. So I will say that, because when I had COVID, it sucked. I couldn't taste. I couldn't smell. All of the above with COVID. It was not a fun time. So anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching my SmackDown recap. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.